Let's go, baby. Halloween episode on Pound the Walk podcast. Pound it.
Pound the walk, y'all. What's up, guys?
What's going on? We got a special guest here from Venom Collectibles. We got Amanda here.
Hey, hey.
Unfortunately, she's a Vikings fan, but we got the Colts Vikes matchup this week.
This year, it's fortunately, man. So far,
Right?
so good, right?
I
This is
know.
our first ever guest, so thank you, Amanda, for coming on. We really
Thank you for
Appreciate
having me.
you.
This is so exciting. I've never been on a podcast before. I feel so
Yeah,
special.
this is fun. So Amanda runs Venom Collectibles. As you know, I get a lot of my jerseys through them. If you want to kind of just give us a rundown,
Yeah. So I am Venom Collectibles. We are on TikTok. My partner and I, Drew, we run the sports memorabilia channel is what it is. So we do autographed helmets, we do mini helmets, we do autographed jerseys. You can jump into those breaks, and we're on pretty much every night. So if you're on TikTok scrolling around, you see Venom Collectibles. We've got a pretty green snake on there. Make sure to stop in and say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, appreciate you having on. We'll throw the name in the description this week, so go ahead and give them a follow and best prices on TikTok. So,
Thanks.
oh no, where'd you go?
I don't know. I'm here.
All right, good. As long as she can hear.
All right, audio's still there. We're
Yeah,
good.
follow Venom Collectibles, y'all, on TikTok.
Let's go. Let's go.
Hey, let's
All right.
hop into these games too. I guess.
Yeah.
Ironic
jump
enough, the
into it.
first game too is a Vikings game we were going to talk about here.
Right. So let's kick it off with the results here. Hang on one second. You might need to kick this off.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Amanda, you still hear us, right?
I can still hear you. I don't know where I went, but
All right, yo. If it comes back, who knows? But first game was a very, I guess, questionable officiating game, right? Vikings took the L to the Rams. I guess the one thing for the Rams, Puka, Nakua, and Cooper Kupp together back, and obviously helped the offense produce. But man, the Vikings still look like a powerful team, all three phases. And I honestly, from the beginning, I kind of felt like the refs were being a little sideways on officiating, and then obviously the end of the game with that missed face mask. I guess if I was a Vikings fan, I would have been pretty livid. I guess, Amanda, what do you think about that?
yeah, it wasn't pretty. And to be honest, I missed the call the first time. I didn't see it. And the announcers obviously were going nuts, and so obviously I missed something pretty big. But when they replayed it, it was so blatant, and he was staring right at him. So I don't understand how you could miss that. It was pretty frustrating because I think having Jettas in the game and having the offensive line that we have, we could have probably at least made it a little ways down the field and had a shot at it. So with that ending the game, that was a really frustrating way to end the game for sure.
Absolutely. What do you think about
Yeah,
that?
that's got to be tough. Having a weapon like JJ out there who can. I mean, you one play is all it takes, and it could have changed everything. And like you said, it was such a blatant call. I mean, the dude was looking right at him. So I'd love to hear. I'd love to get that guy on the podium and kind of see what was running through his mind, because that was. I mean, there was no question about it. I mean, I saw it the first time, and I had a few White Claws in me. So if my drunk ass spotted that, I think the professional should have. But it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah. It's just one of those, another example where the refs, they need to be held more accountable, it's just very upsetting when that stuff happens. It just feels like a waste of time watching the game. I mean, obviously, yeah, to say that the Vikings didn't have a chance to drive down the field, that's crazy, especially, I mean, this week was crazy in football. Obviously, we'll be talking about more games here, but anything can happen in the NFL. You got a 90-yard drive, yeah, of course. The Vikings have done it before already this season, so it's very upsetting.
And I often wonder what kind of conversations happen with the officiating team after the things like that happen. Like if there's any conversation at all, if they get a slap on the hand, like you don't ever hear about what happens after there's big missed calls like that. So I'm always curious what that conversation looks like.
And Josh, do you think replay assist? I mean, is it eligible in something like that with a penalty, or?
I mean, as of now, obviously, no. But I saw something about them talking about making a change in that, which they obviously should. I mean, one option is either completely ignore the truth, or the other option to be like, hey, we were wrong. There was a face mask on the call. Like, before the next play proceeds, just do it. Like, who cares? Every NFL fan, I'm sure, would agree with that being the case. So, yeah. And, hey, I guess another thing to add to that I meant to say, Christian Darrisaw, I think he tore his ACL, which is very unfortunate. But then you guys already traded and got Cam Robinson from the Jags. So just an example of a winning team, not trying to get off track. I still see the Vikings having a promising future this year the way they've been playing.
Yeah, that Darisaw play was super unfortunate too because we shouldn't have even made that play. We were 14 seconds away from halftime, and so to make a call like that ends one of our more prominent players this season is really frustrating.
Very unfortunate.
It's the NFL, baby. It's just it's unfortunate. Hopefully he bounces back soon.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, now we got Baltimore at Cleveland. Sorry.
I wanted to add. I was down 2 points or 2 games from you coming into this week again, right?
You were.
All right,
so now you're down
let's
one.
just keep that noted here. I think I made a swing a little bit, maybe.
A little bit. You're pooping it out a little bit.
Pooping it out. I like that. All right, yeah, my bad. Proceed.
You're good, man. And we got Baltimore at Cleveland. I checked this wrong on accident. Obviously, Cleveland won that game, which is it surprising a little bit.
Yeah,
but it is, it is within the conference, or the division. So anything can happen. And Jay Boogie, man, Jay Boogie showed up. He must have had one of those awesome eat the W pregame speeches or something, but he pulled it out. They kept Derrick Henry in check, they kept Lamar in check, and just proved that Cleveland had a better offense that day.
Yeah, the Ravens need to improve their pass defense. I mean, they were injured I think Marlon Humphreys and their rookie Wiggins was out, but even when they were out there this season, that's their one blatant black hole of they need to fix that. And yeah, Jameis Winston, dude, he's just so funny. That's all I'll leave at that. Just very funny, man.
Did you
Can't
see
hate
his
him.
pregame
Yeah.
it's like a poem? He was like
I saw something where he was like, play for the decal on your, or play for the name on your helmet. He goes, oh, we don't got decals on our helmet.
he did
he's just winging it, literally.
one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. He was like 1, 2, 3 to the foe. The C's and the Q's are gonna be out this door. I was like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
God, dude.
But yeah, big dub for Cleveland. They were a pretty shitty team, and they showed up. All right, no input from Venom down there.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to give you a chance if you had any thoughts on the game.
No, I think that definitely the Ravens are a tough team to stop, and they've had an unfortunate season this year. But going into the season, I really thought they were going to be a top contender. To lose to somebody like Cleveland is really disappointing for them. So I think that's going to be pretty eye-opening, and I think they're going to try to come back with a vengeance next game for sure.
Absolutely.
Facts. They got Deontay Johnson though.
There we go.
Got his ass. All right,
And we got have the Titans at Detroit.
both got that right, I guess. Here.
Yeah, I suppose that one wasn't a shocker. What Detroit did to Tennessee though was a little mean. They didn't have to do 52-14.
Damn.
But Mason Rudolph actually looked okay. They just couldn't top a good Detroit defense and obviously a powerhouse offense like that. But it was a surprising game, at least for me.
Yeah, the Titans started good, I guess you're right, and they were getting Calvin Ridley the ball. But yeah, Detroit, this is the third time they've just dominated in a game. So, and I think they're the only team that's probably done that more than once in a season or this season. They're just showing they're a dominant team. So any negative, I digress. The Lions are looking nasty.
Yeah, I don't think I'm struggling to wrap my brain around a situation where they can lose this season. I know they will, and I know they have, but just the way they're looking right now, if they keep up the way that they're going, I think they're going to go all the way, honestly. I hope they do, because they gave us our first loss, so that makes me feel a little bit better if they go all the way. But
Yeah, y'all's division is pretty nasty so far, it's looking like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely it's been fun to watch that division for sure.
Yeah.
And then we got Arizona at Miami.
Miami.
Both got that one right. Barely. I think the score was 28-27. So Arizona barely squeezed that one out. Kyler was doing his thing all game. Miami started to get that run game going, but it just wasn't enough. But Tua came back. He's alive.
For now.
You know, he was using coherent words, and they got him a special helmet, and
He did get a new helmet. He slid,
Oh.
and everyone like cheered. It was good for him. And yeah,
That
they
was-
looked
it was-
okay.
it was
Their whole offense obviously looked like a productive NFL team since he's been there. But the Cardinals are sneaky, man. They're good defense, and Kyler Murray when he's at least he's not the most consistent in the last 3 seasons, but this season he's proven to make plays every game. So yeah, Kyler.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of helps when you can't see him when he's playing underneath all the other players. So I
That's facts.
definitely, I definitely think he's got an advantage there. But Miami has too many weapons to be losing games at this point in time. So to see them barely sneak ahead of the Cardinals was pretty shocking.
Big
yeah,
facts, big
absolutely.
facts.
But you know, we're in mid-season form, so I think people are getting a little tired, getting a little beat up. But I mean, that's not really an excuse, right? This is your job, but this is kind of where things shift. So.
Yeah.
All right, and then we had the Jets in New England. This is one you had on me. I really thought that my boy with the Ayuwaka and his old friend teaming back up, was going to have a better week, but didn't quite turn out that way. And New England once again surprised me. I started off the season saying they were the worst team in football. They keep putting my own foot in my mouth, so.
Yeah, I was just looking back at our week 1 predictions, and that's something I got out of it. We were both very wrong about the Patriots. They're a competent team, and the Jets are just Aaron Rodgers is an old man who's banged up. Man, he's still trying his best. His receivers are putting up decent numbers, but it's they're not winning games. So they're one of the bottom of the barrel teams officially, I think, at this point. There's a few teams that are they got to win every game. They got to win out. And that's the Jets are in that situation, and it's probably not going to happen. So, sad story.
I think a lot of people were wrong about the Patriots, and a lot of people were wrong about the Jets in the opposite direction. I think that people were really optimistic about the Jets this year, and they are absolutely disappointing. So, kind of the alternative to the Lions, I don't see a situation where they're going to pull off anything miraculous this year. It's really sad, and again, another team with a ton of weapons and not able to use them efficiently.
Mike Williams might be a trade target here. We got the deadline coming up, y'all. Keep an eye open for that.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye open for that one. Wouldn't be a huge shocker. But, yeah, to y'all's point, I mean, it's just you look at the roster and just how stacked they are, and they just can't get anything going or get anything going as a team. I mean, individually, I think, some of these guys have had awesome games, but, that's when the other, 10 guys are on the field or just playing like ass or some shit, and this one guy breaks off. So it's unfortunate to see.
Yeah.
All right, and then we had Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Got this one. I think that was a pretty close game as well. I think it was a one-score game, so I mean it could have gone either way. But I think it was just the fact that losing Evans and Godwin and the week before, I think just the backups just didn't have enough chance to, get enough reps in practice or whatnot, or just for whatever reason, it's I'm sure they'll start picking it back up, once they get some more play time, but I think it was just a little too soon. And Atlanta's still a hot team. I think I overlooked them a lot, and maybe a lot of other people too, but they're still a hot team.
Yeah, Baker at least showed that he can still produce with Evans and Godwin out. I mean, he's still making quick decisions, getting the ball out, throwing accurate passes. So, I mean, I think he's going to keep being able to do that. Cade Otton went off. It was National Tight End Day. He was one of the guys who went off. I think he had 2 touchdowns. But, yeah, Atlanta, you're right. They're sneaky good, man. And then Kirk Cousins is playing competent, consistent football early in the season. He's done some fourth-quarter comebacks, so... Atlanta's fighting for one of them wild card spots for sure, I'm guessing here.
Selfishly, I'm a little happy that Kirk's going off because I've always been a big Kirk fan, especially when he was in Minnesota, and nobody liked him. Yeah. And so I kept telling people, I'm like, it's our O-line. Nobody can protect him. So I'm glad to see him go off because I've had faith in him since day one. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, that Netflix documentary, the QB1 documentary, or whatever it was called, or it was the NFL one, made me really realize how good of a dude Kirk Cousins was. But yeah, man, Kirk Cousins, he's it's an underdog story, drafted with RG3 on his team the same year, like immediate backup, and now look at him. He just had a long, successful career. Made a
Yeah.
lot of money while doing it too.
He's solid. He's solid. You can't go
Solid
wrong with
for sure.
Kirko.
All right, next game here.
Yeah, man. Let's let you take this real quick. I need to take a quick intermission.
All right, happily, because this is probably, not even probably, this was the best game of the week, no matter what, just because of how it ended. We had Chicago at Washington. I really wanted to go to this game, and I regret not going. But, man, obviously the reason being, Hail Mary. Everyone
Yes.
must have heard of it by now. Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels was hurt coming into it. People didn't even think he was going to play. I think watching that game, because that was one of the games I was kind of honed in on watching, the Washington played better football offensively and defensively, despite their pass defense also being pretty bad this year. But they looked like the better team, and it was very unfortunate that it seemed like the Bears were going to win. I just remember, I'm just watching the game obviously Hail Mary situation, and it happened. Crazy stuff. Who was it? Noah Brown in the back of the end zone. Your routine, tipped Hail Mary. Guy in the back catches it. Crowd goes nuts.
And it's the guy that tips it. The guy is the same guy that's taunting the crowd. And you've got your hero versus villain with the Jaden Daniels versus the Caleb Williams story. Everybody's rooting against Caleb, and so it was really cool to see. They talk about the script. I don't think you could have scripted that any better.
Yeah, it brought tears to my eyes, man. It's just real NFL football, best moments ever type thing. And
Yeah.
I think it was Tyreek Stevenson. He wasn't even looking at the offense when the snap was happening. He was looking at the crowd. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Are you with us? Are you with us, Chris?
On and off, it's
Okay.
a lot of commotion. It's Halloween. A lot of things going on in the background.
You got to
But,
pass the candy while podcasting.
I know, right? I'm like fucking
Just
playing
throw people.
QB1, just eating Laffy Taffies at little kids' heads.
Well, you don't want
Um,
to skip this game because this was an amazing moment for football. What do you have to say about it?
Now, look, I was it was an incredible game to watch start from finish, right? It was I didn't expect it. Obviously, I don't think anyone else did. I kind of checked out, and I was like, you know what? Bears obviously have this. There's 2 seconds, and it's 60 yards. Dude's got hurt ribs, and then he yeets an absolute bomb. And it was a beautiful thing to watch. There's all over social media the POV of the dude sitting right there. They got to use that in Commanders commercials on a go forward basis. There is hope in Washington, y'all, and that's
Yeah.
been a long time since it's been like that. So awesome.
Yeah, football gods are watching, man. They're looking
Absolutely.
over.
There we go.
All right. Well, next game we had Green Bay at Jacksonville. We both had that right. Green Bay winning over a pretty inconsistent and stinky Jacksonville this year. I guess
Albeit Jacksonville was a lot closer in this game than I thought they would have been, considering, I think Green Bay's a pretty solid team. Sorry, for others in the room, but
Womp womp.
they're a decent team. And for a horrible Jacksonville offense to kind of stick in there, I was a little surprised.
Yeah, I don't understand why Jacksonville is so bad. I haven't been able to wrap my head around that, why they're so terrible this year. They didn't really make a ton of changes. They were decent last year, but they are just trash this year. So I expected Green Bay to pull that one out for sure. They've got, again, a lot of good weapons, and they're consistent. So not a surprise at all.
Yeah. Jordan Love had a weird injury, and that obviously had their offense fizzle out. So I guess that's a good reason why Jacksonville kind of stayed in the hunt. But yeah, their offense is just the most vanilla offense, very, very unexplosive, and it all from the beginning of the year they didn't play their last year's number one back in Etienne at all. They put him in 50% of the snaps with the other backs. So I don't know. It's just weird, and I thought by now maybe Peterson would get fired, the coach, but we'll see what happens in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I honestly thought he would have been fired in halftime at some point.
Yeah, they were in London. They had a good point. They didn't want to fire him in London and want to ship him back home.
right.
Now they're back home. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But hey,
So
next
we'll see.
game was unfortunate. Unfortunately, your boys losing to Houston, a division
That was
matchup,
tough.
of course.
It was It was another close game. That's kind of why I was leaning towards Indy. We had opportunities and we just missed it. If you're going 2 for like 30 on pass attempts, you're not going to win too many games, even if you have Jonathan Taylor in the back. And then fucking AR tapping out of the game on a 3rd down. That was the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. And
It's funny. It's laughable, I guess. It's a laughable.
he said, "I'm not gonna lie, I was tired. Like,
Yeah, like
you got
oh my
300-pound linemen playing every fucking snap, and
Dude, you're a quarterback. You don't think you
You're
can
tired.
hand the ball off to the running back the next play? Like,
dude, get out of here, man."
That-
So
that is
rightfully
dumb.
so, Daddy Joe's gonna play, and with a healthy JT and a good O line, I think we're gonna lock in, baby.
I don't know. We'll see. Talking a big game.
A little bias, I hear.
yeah, you guys do play each other this week. Indy, man, Joe Flacco. I'm not gonna lie. Hate to say it. I completely called it last week. I was like, I don't know. I think y'all are gonna lose it because I just completely see it being like next week. You guys are gonna start Joe Flacco because you guys want to win games right now, and that doesn't. I don't think it. Obviously, this isn't the best thing to do, but you guys haven't given up on Anthony Richardson. He is so raw, like in the sense that he lack of playing time, and obviously that means play him. But at the same time, you guys are 4-4 in a actually not too competitive AFC right now. So you guys are actually ironic enough competing against the Chargers for this like 7th or 6th seed here, or 7th seed. So I don't know. It makes sense to me actually. I think your head coach in Steichen knows how to win games with a quarterback who can throw it vertically. And Joe Flacco, despite being Joe Flacco, can do that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's been around the league obviously for quite some time, and he's played with some amazing players. So I think if anyone's going to step in at this time with a inexperienced quarterback who's tapping out of games, put Daddy Joe in, man. He's ageless, and dude, dude came off the couch and he didn't tap out when he got tired, after running 20 yards downfield. So if AR is going to tap out because he's in the prime shape of his life and he's a little winded, then go ahead and put Couch Potato Joe in, man, because at least he's like 7-to-1 touchdown interception ratio versus 1-to-7 versus AR. Come on.
Basically, yeah, right.
It only
It's
makes
not
more
literal,
sense.
then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
Yep. I don't see AR being the star that I think that everybody wants him to be. He's not getting the reps in, he's not getting the time in, and by him doing something like that, I mean, he's just wasting his own time. So, I mean, maybe he'll surprise us, but I think it's smart putting Joe Flacco in. He's solid, he's proven himself, and it just makes the most sense.
All right. Well, we talked about my shitty boys, but we can talk about your boys pulling one over on who we had someone in the top tier of power rankings early on, and they're like, no, the fuck, we're not.
Yeah, Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr's coming back this week, this next week coming up. But yeah, they were like on fire the first 3 or 4 weeks. But man, we handled them. Our defense has consistently looked really good, and we're halfway through the season now, which is kind of sad. But I am now at the point where I'm not scared to say it, man. Our defense is like generational defense, dude. Like we're like when the Jags were good in like 2017. Remember their offense was ass, but their defense was good. I think the Vikings actually, when they had Case Keenum, their defense was like pretty locked down, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's just like it can be one of those years for us, dude. We're just gonna win games because we can't get more than like 14 points scored on us.
And nobody's talking about the Chargers, which is crazy. I don't hear, they're so slept on this year, and I think that they're definitely going to surprise a lot of people.
I love it.
I hope so, man. Honestly, y'all have had a long time of just not so great luck. So, you got to be due eventually, right? And Harbaugh in there, just doing what he does with that team. Again, they're not pretty W's, they're squiggly W's, but they're still W's. Hard to lose a game when you only let up 8, 10, 13 points a game, and if you put up just a little bit more than that, you seem to be doing all right.
Yeah. Shout out Lad McConkey, baby. But I guess we can go right on to the next one. Buffalo at Seattle. We both got that one right as well. Buffalo starting to put together consistent ball and being the team that people are thinking they are. I guess maybe Amari Cooper being out there expands the offense. Who knows? And they just beat a good team. Don't get it wrong. Seattle's a good team, dude. Even with DK out, great. They just got an explosive vertical offense and good young DBs. So yeah, shout out Buffalo is all I'll say.
Yeah, Buffalo. There's not much more you can say about them. Amari Cooper got me one whole fantasy point this week, so I'm not too excited about them right now. But
He expands the field, but he might not get the ball.
yeah. So I'm looking for him to do something more this week. But Josh Allen, again, another consistent quarterback. They've got a strong thing going there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Buffalo team that I was expecting all season. They've showed up a couple times, but it's been very inconsistent. But since the Amari Cooper transaction, it's gone back to what I expect that team to be. Again, he's not getting a whole lot of touches. I know he got a tutty on a play that he didn't know existed last week or the week before. But when you have a number one out there, your DBs are going to take more focus to him and leave the young guys like Coleman open, and
And Coleman
it
had
helps
a good
the run
game.
game a lot too.
Coleman had a good game, actually, finally. But I guess we'll go on right now to the next one. Both had that one wrong. It was kind of a weird one. Philly at Cincy, both kind of having disappointing seasons, I guess. We both thought Cincy was going to pull it through, but it was the opposite. Philly is now looking pretty good, right? Handled Cincy.
Yeah, Philly's playing weird ball, man. They play good when they want to. For some reason, I can't put my finger on it, because there have been a couple games where I thought Philly was going to be a sure dub, and they just played like ass. And then this game I thought was going to be a lot closer, and they win by 20 points. So, and Cincy's not like horrendous. Like they're not the Panthers. So I don't know.
Yeah, Eagles defense actually held Cincy down to not do what they've been doing. So that's what I was wrong about. I don't know, but Philly's looked good the last 2 weeks for sure. That's, I guess, the best way to put it.
They've looked good, and Cincinnati's been really disappointing. And it's hard to watch because Joe Burrow is such a talent, but they've got to start turning it around. They've got a pretty easy schedule ahead of them, so hopefully they can pull something off.
And Philly has a pretty hard schedule ahead of them, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. I think they might start tripping up here. But yeah, Cincy needs to basically win out. They can do it. They're Cincy, but we'll see. But yeah, next game.
On to the next one. For a team who's probably not going to win out, we've got Carolina at Denver, and I let you guess which one I'm talking about not winning out.
Honestly,
Carolina,
neither.
well, another doo-doo week for them. I don't think we're super surprised. I think it was like 28-14. Bo Nix was playing decent ball. He's a fun guy to watch, man, and he's even more fun to watch after the game. His pressers are always awesome. But yeah, game went about how I expected it to. Denver, their defense is good. Carolina's just bad.
Yeah, my heart wants the Carolina to do well because I'm a huge Adam Thielen fan, but they've just got to get something figured out with their QB situation because Bryce Young isn't it. Unfortunately, I think he could be if he had some good influence around him, but he just doesn't have any strength around him to show him what he needs to be doing. So, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be doing anything until they make changes there.
Yeah, definitely like one of the bottom 3 teams in the league, no question. Yeah, but if I was fuck the Broncos, respectfully, but if I was a Broncos fan, I'd be happy. I'd be happy with Bo Nix. He's looking like a ball player, man. He can actually use his legs too. It's pretty impressive. He looked bad 2 weeks ago in that primetime game, like as far as on his arm with his arm, but that's more of like happy feet. But yeah, he's put together some plays, and Denver's defense is pretty good, man. They kind of scare me, but fuck Denver.
That's another team nobody's really talking about that they probably should be.
Shout out Sean Payton. Next game, we're staying in the same division here. Kansas City beating the Vegas Raiders. No surprise here. It was pretty close, I guess. There was like an early on interception that kept the Raiders in the game. But once again, Pat Mahomes and the refs and the Chiefs and Andy Reid, they just win games. So, yeah.
I mean, that's the KC mantra right there. Winning games one way or the other. Be it the refs, Mahomes doing his thing. Kelsey had a decent game, though. National Tight Ends Day. Tight ends typically show up for that. And if you're a tight end and don't produce on National Tight Ends Day, you should probably go jump off a cliff, you worthless human being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that was a bit rough, because, but still.
I have nothing kind to say about the Chiefs, so I will just focus on the Raiders. No, I just want somebody to beat them. I don't know who it's going to be because they've been playing terrible ball as well. I mean, I don't know how they've been pulling it off, but somebody's got to be the one to take them down, and it'll happen eventually. But unfortunately, they've got a lot going for them. So
Again, it's the mediocre plays, but doing good when it matters.
Yeah.
Awesome ref calls, and the other team, for some reason, just playing like ass when they play Kansas City.
Yeah. I think someone at work yesterday asked me if I thought the Chiefs would go undefeated, and I was like, they don't deserve to. Like, you know what I mean? That's the best way to put it. Like, they haven't played perfect football. But Pat Mahomes is still, like, you just can't bet against him. There's someone in the league right now, the young guy that I see that in him right now. I swear, I might sound crazy. I think Jaden Daniels has this, like, Pat Mahomes, like.
No.
I think he has this Pat Mahomes in him, man.
It's too early, man. It's
There's
too
been like
early.
3 or 4 games. Like I've seen, like it'll be like 15 seconds left in the second quarter. I think he's done it twice, where he'll just take them from the 20 to like their 35 to get a field goal in field goal range. Like it's nonchalant, like that. I don't know. That man's nasty. So, but yeah, same with. I hate Mahomes, but he is like the best, dude. It's insane.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All
Dallas
right.
at San Fran.
Dallas at San Fran. Well, San Fran made Drew happy, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
It was another good game. It was pretty close. Purdy, he played decent ball. I talked shit about him a couple weeks ago, so naturally he comes up, and they always prove me wrong once I talk shit about them. Niners played solid football, and Dallas is just ass this year, especially in primetime games. So wasn't too surprised at that one.
Yeah, Dallas
What's it
can't
gonna
run the ball.
take? What's it gonna take for them to make a move?
I mean, they need some competent run game. Whether that's like Dowdle like comes back healthy and does something, which he hasn't, and obviously it's not going to happen with I don't think Dalvin Cook and Ezekiel Elliott. They can be plug and plays like in goal line situations, but they need an RB1, dude. They're like them and the Raiders just can't get the ball run the ball at all. Which good luck being a successful team in the NFL if you can't run the ball. It's not going to happen. So that's why I think they're very ugly this year, man. Especially when you lean on someone like Dak when you don't have the run game.
Yeah. I know Jerry Jones said he doesn't make mid-season decisions, but at some point he's going to have to make a decision.
Yep.
And otherwise it's just going to keep being ugly.
Yeah, trade for Chuba Hubbard from the Panthers or something. Chuba Hubbard's not that bad. He might be a trade target.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, the Dallas' season, if I had to guess, is going to just fizzle out very unfortunately. By the time it's like Thanksgiving here, we're going to be like, yeah, Cowboys season's done, for sure. But that last game of the week here, New York at Pitt, Russell Wilson's game 2 with the Steelers. Yeah, we had that one right as well. I think Pittsburgh grinded it out and played Pittsburgh football and won the game. That's basically what happened.
Case in point, right? They just again they have a solid defense as well. They're very style wise they're pretty close to the Chargers in my opinion. Just the way they get stops when it matters. You can't get huge plays on them. So having a good defense, and you got danger. Russ is feeling dangerous again. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't have an amazing game, but I don't think it was a bad game, right? So.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Russ. I think that they did him dirty over in Denver, so I hope that he comes back and is strong and can do what he needs to do for Pittsburgh. I was a little surprised that they took Fields out and put Russ in with just the success that Fields was having, but I'm glad it's paying off for him.
I think the big thing is Russ still has a really good deep ball. The way he can let enough off the ball for the ball to tip down right in the cradle.
Yeah, Fields never does that.
Fields could never do that. He's got a solid arm and he can move a lot quicker than Russ. But Russ still has wheels on him even at his age, and the touch on his ball, no diddy, it's just light years ahead of where Fields is at.
Yeah.
I mean, Russell Wilson, man. I think next year will be interesting what they do because obviously they're both on 1 year. So
Yep.
I could see them completely just letting them both go and then drafting a quarterback. I don't know.
Well, it's possible.
Shout
I don't
out
think
Mike
they're going to
Tomlin,
get a great pick though, because Tomlin never has a losing season, so they're going to have a
Wins games.
mid-round pick anyways at the very least. So,
Wins games.
excited to see where it goes.
Well, I guess that
All
gets
right.
us right into power rankings, right?
Power rankings. So the way we do this is we'll all go down the line with our 3s, our 2s, and our 1s. And guest of honor, if you had to pick your number 3, who would it be?
Are we talking teams, players?
Teams, power rankings
Power
on
ranking
teams.
teams
Yep.
in the NFL. Third, second, and first.
Oh my goodness, you're putting me on the spot. Let me think about this. I would say that third, let's see, it goes them, then them. I think that honestly,
Thems. The team thems. I love them.
well, I don't want to spoil my 1 and my 2 right off the gate. I want to say the Niners. I understand that that's probably a little bit of a controversial pick, but I think that they have shown that they can show up when they need to show up, and when they're back full strength, I think they're going to be really powerful. And so I'm going to go Niners.
All right now, Niners at 3. Who you got, Josh?
Yeah, the Niners are definitely. They were my Super Bowl. I had the Chiefs and the Niners Super Bowl, and you make sense. It's exactly what's going to happen, in my opinion. Still, they're going to like make their way to the playoffs by near the end of the regular season. They're going to be like fully healthy. They're just going to be playing good ball. But yeah, as of right now, my number 3, it's the same team I had last week at number 3. It's the Washington Commanders/Redskins, man. They are the third best team in the NFL, not only because they've been probably playing the most consistent football throughout the whole season so far, probably one of the best quarterback plays or quarterback play for any quarterback in the league is Jaden Daniels, and the football gods are watching over them, man. Like that Hail Mary just cemented it. They're gonna have a special year if they figure out the defensive backs, if they figure out their corner situation, like through trades or just, I don't know, St. Juice needs to get off the field, however way possible. They can talk Super Bowl, dude. The NFC, you got the Lions, and you got like the banged up Niners. What other teams are up there? It's the Commanders, man. Number 3.
All right now. My number 3 is going to be Kansas City. They're still an undefeated team, so I got to give them that. They're winning games, which is, that's what you got to do. It's the NFL, right? But at the same time, they're not looking like a power team. It's any team. I think any given week could still beat them, but being undefeated, I have to still give it to them at number 3 right now.
Who do you think? Actually, I guess we'll figure it out. Never mind. We'll go on. I digress. Number 2, we're going with our number 2 power rankings now, Amanda. What do you got for the number 2 team in the NFL right now?
It hurts me so bad to say this, but I'm going to have to say the Chiefs. I want them to be number 16 or 30 or whatever so bad, but I think they're number 2. To your point, they are undefeated. They're pulling it out somehow, and so it'd be silly to not put them up there. So I'm going to have to do that.
That's fair.
I don't know if y'all
All
hear
right,
my
Josh.
dogs going off. I think there's trick-or-treaters here, so I'm going to have to suppress that noise. But yeah, my number 2 team, they just been looking too good. It's the Lions. I think the Lions are looking like a powerhouse team. Defense is forcing a lot of turnovers, and their offenses. Jared Goff can win games with throwing like 8 passes and 3 touchdowns. That shit's crazy. So yeah, the Lions are my number 2 team.
Yeah, my number 2 is actually going to be Buffalo. I know they have a couple losses, but ever since Amari's been a part of the team, they've been back to what I expect Buffalo to be. Like I said earlier, they are powerful. Josh Allen's looking awesome again. They're spreading the ball around. James Cook is getting enough touches that and he's productive when he gets those touches too, because now that the pass game is dangerous again, that obviously you're going to fucking drop people back, and then James Cook he's an awesome running back, and he's getting yards. So their defense is playing awesome again too. So give me Buffalo at 2.
Fair. All right, so these are our number 1 picks. Amanda, you can lead it off. Who's your number 1 team?
I'm going to have to go Lions. I just think they're too strong of a team. Even without Hutchinson, they have shown time and time again that they can win when they need to win. And I think that their defense is strong, their offense is strong, they're all around and Dan Campbell is an absolute just monster. I think that he's super strong as a coach. So I don't see them losing too many more games this year.
A solid answer. Are you muted, Josh? You want me to go now?
Yeah, you go first.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of you there with the Lions. I mean, they're putting up 52 points here and there and there and here. You know, they're putting up tons of points. Their defense is playing lights out. Dan Campbell, that man makes me want to run through a fucking brick wall. So I can't imagine what he does to the actual players. The offensive coordinators down to special teams players, they're just clicking, man. They just look good on every front, and I love to see where they're headed. I had them in the Super Bowl in our Week 1 prediction, so yeah, they very might well get there.
Yeah, so I guess that's where I'll go with my number one now is obviously the Chiefs. I hate to say it, but, hey, they're still the only undefeated team in the league. And then what I was going to say earlier before I stopped myself, because for one, as a Chargers fan, it would be a sin to even, do this. So I'm not going to get too deep into it, but, I don't think any team would beat the Chiefs right now. If you had to, pick, okay, some team, Lions versus the Chiefs right now in the Super Bowl, I'm still picking the Chiefs. They'll find a way to win. It's unfortunate, but they're my number one team.
Respectfully, you're wrong.
Okay. I mean, I don't know, man. The Lions are insane right now. There's no question. That's why they're my number 2. So.
No, that's fair. Look, I mean, it's hard to discredit having 0 losses at this point in the season, right? If you're talking about being powerful, I mean, winning games is the ultimate proof, right? But I also think that if they played tomorrow, the Lions would run a fucking hole down that defense, but
We'll see. I
We'll
guess
see.
maybe we'll see in the Super Bowl.
There we go.
See. But yeah, I guess that gets us right into our quick breakdown of our next week picks for Week 9.
Yeah,
starting
absolutely.
Tonight.
Let's get into it.
And then I guess for one, we're gonna find out the ones that we have different. But Amanda, feel free as we go through each game to tell us what pick you got. But yeah, I guess we start off immediately.
Tonight we're gonna find out who's the bigger asshole.
Yeah, because I'm down 1 game right now in our all-time record, so we'll see if there's any swings here. But yeah, Houston, you got Houston. You got New York Jets. I got Houston, despite them being all injured. Amanda, who do you have for this tonight's matchup?
Houston, no question. I think the Jets are just playing terrible football, and Houston is a stronger team. I think that something crazy is going to have to happen for the Jets to be able to pull that off tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the injuries for me. That's why I'm leaning a little more towards the Jets.
Fair. All right, so we got
All
Dallas
right,
at
we got
Atlanta.
Dallas at Atlanta. We both have that one. Dallas sucks. Atlanta's still hot. Amanda, where you at with this one?
Kirko all the way.
Kirko Chains. 2.
Yeah, just
All right.
The checks, they're sick. All right, you got it.
Yeah,
Miami
put it
at Buffalo.
purple for Minnesota.
Fair.
All right, we got Miami at Buffalo. I think, even with Tua back, the Bills are just looking too strong right now, so I'm leaning there.
I agree. This is the game. Last time Tua played Buffalo when he got knocked out. Just putting that out there.
Shit.
Just putting that out there.
If he dies in this game.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm going to have to go Buffalo, too.
All right now. This one could go either way, depending on which Cincinnati and which Joey Ice shows up, but I still have a little more faith in Cincy than I do Vegas.
Same. Raiders can't run the ball. Them and the Cowboys are stinky run game teams. I'm not going to pick them. So, yeah.
There you go.
Joe's just a better quarterback in general, so.
There you go.
There we are.
Then Aiden O'Connell. Yeah. I
yeah.
put my life on the line on that one.
All right, we got your boys.
Yeah, Cleveland played good against the Ravens last week, so this will be fun to see if our defense still locks them down. Let's not forget, it's still not trying to knock on wood, but it's Jameis Winston, dude. Get some
His
picks.
pregame speeches, man. I mean, that's gonna one fish, two fish.
I appreciate you picking LA.
Nah, I mean, look, their defense is just too good. And I think coming off, Jameis just we didn't know what Jameis we were getting, right? So they just probably were ill prepared and just got caught with their pants down. I'm going to Chargers all day.
Yeah, Chargers are just a stronger team in my opinion. It only makes sense.
All right.
Makes sense.
And New England at Tennessee. This one was a little bit tougher for me just because I know Mason Rudolph was starting to play a little bit better, but Drake May actually looks decent out there. So, and Amandre Stevenson out there, and it's solid back. So, give me New England.
Yeah, Drake May, as long as he stays healthy, he's shown he can run the ball in the NFL too. So,
There we go.
and shout out Ramondre. And Tennessee's, man, just they can't put it together. Even if Mason Rudolph looked good for a quarter last week, I got New England.
There we
Yeah.
go.
I love Drake May. I'm a huge fan. I think that he's going to do some great things this year, so I'm going to have to go Patriots.
All right, there we go. Oh man, this is going to be tough, but I think Denver is going to give Baltimore a run for their money, but Baltimore is just their offense is just too powerful to keep down for too long. So give me Baltimore.
Yeah, it's like honestly, that's exactly what I was basically about to say. I wanted to pick Denver too, especially because I just hate picking Baltimore. But yeah, Denver's a good defense, but Baltimore, especially after, they're going to want to win some games here. Obviously, after what they just did, so
There
I
we
see
go.
Baltimore coming through.
This one's a toss-up for me, just to be different. I think I'm going to go Broncos.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, I actually like that. I like it.
there we go. New York, or I guess Washington at New York. I think New York topped them last time, but that was an early version of Jaden that just hadn't developed yet, and now he's this fucking monster throwing 60-yard Hail Marys. And
That game was ugly, but I swear I thought Washington won that game out of it was like a field goal frenzy game, right? Or something
Was
like
it?
that.
Maybe-
No. It
maybe
was the one
that's
where
what-
the Giants kicker got hurt, couldn't kick extra points, and that's why
yeah.
Washington won. But yeah, it was a ugly matchup. I think this one will be like Washington puts it together even more. New York's starting to look stinky again, so yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, New York's been looking stinky, honestly, in my opinion. But yeah, I've got full faith in Jaden Daniels.
All right, so we're going to put another one over here. New Orleans at Carolina. I know they only put up 8 points last week, but it's against a good defense, and Carolina's still Carolina until they're not Carolina, and they'll always be Carolina. That was a lot to say, so give me New Orleans.
Yeah, Derek Carr's back, or he might be back. I don't know if he's officially back, but he should be back, and maybe they'll be explosive again. And it's a perfect game to come back is against the Panthers. So, yeah, give me the Saints.
Yeah, it'll be some good high school football for sure. I'm with you on the Saints.
Jacksonville at Philly. This is the one we're all going to get wrong, y'all. But Philly coming back. Playing the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks. I have more faith in them now. But just because I said that, Jacksonville's going to drop 40 on them. But let me still get Philly for now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Philly's played good football the last 2 weeks. I'm just gonna go with recency. You know what I mean? But you're right. This is the game we're probably gonna get wrong.
I want to be wrong. Like, please let me be wrong on this. I don't like the Eagles, and I really, I hope Jacksonville comes back and whoops up on them. But I'm gonna have to go Eagles.
Fair.
Chicago at Arizona. Depends on which version of Kyler shows up, but if it's the one that we've been seeing, last week, and James Conner still being productive out there, so I'm going to go Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona's been sneaking their way into victories the last few weeks. James Conner's still proven to be a good back. Kyler Murray's been playing good, so I got Arizona beating Chicago as well.
I'm gonna go Chicago. I think that they're gonna try to have something to prove this week, especially after the way they lost last week. And I think that Arizona's too inconsistent of a team to really put my faith in them. So I'm gonna go Chicago.
Yeah, I think that is one of the most up-in-the-air games for sure.
Yep. Detroit at Green Bay. Obviously, I got Detroit on this one. They're my number one power ranked team. So
Yeah, Green Bay's, even if Jordan Love plays, he's gonna get hurt, or he's hurt, and I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't get hurt even more. But
What do you know that we don't know?
Yeah, the NFL gods are not looking over him, I guess. I don't know. He had a really weird injury He's been banged up throughout this week, so give me a hot Detroit over Green Bay.
Yep, 100%.
All right, I guess that means you're over here too.
Absolutely.
The Rams at Seattle. This one was a little bit tougher for me, but just knowing that a lot of their weapons are starting to come back. The Rams look. I mean, obviously they beat a really good Minnesota team last week, so give me LA.
Yeah, Rams have been looking good last week with Puka and Cooper Kupp back. We got a weird division matchup here, but I'm going to go veteran Sean McVay on a winning streak over a rookie coach any day. So I got the Rams beating Seattle.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I honestly wasn't mad about losing to the Rams last week because they were so strong with all of their weapons back. So I think that they're going to be kind of a force to be reckoned with now moving forward. So.
All right. Here we go, game of the week. It's also the primetime game. We got Indy at Minnesota.
And we both picked Indy.
Yeah, we both got Indy.
Sorry, man.
It's not even me being biased. I think, with Joe Flacco back there, the team's going to want to step it up. I think he's going to fire these boys up to have a real leader out there. JT is healthy. The receivers are starting to do their thing. They're heating up. I think the biggest missing piece was a consistent quarterback, and we could be a solid team now that we have one.
Yeah, I am going to say Minnesota because of my allegiance. However, I think it's going to be a really good game. You can't sleep on Minnesota at home. Just their home games are electric, and I think that they play significantly better at home, like many teams do. But with Darisaw being out, I think that's going to give us some issues defensively, and historically, we do not do well during prime time. So I'm saying this cautiously, but I think it's going to be Minnesota.
Yeah. I think obviously I'm assuming the Colts are going to be the underdog. My decision was kind of off gut feeling, Joe Flacco being there and the production he's shown. But yeah, the Vikings are playing more consistently better football, obviously, than the Colts. But yeah, I'm just going Colts here.
Hey, but remember the last time we played Minnesota? We dropped 33 on them to nothing, and we ended up losing the game.
That was one of the craziest games ever. Yeah.
He gets to come back in NFL history, baby.
Yep. So we'll see. At halftime when it was 33-0, I was like, we're gonna fucking lose this game. I go in for a massage, come back out, I'm like, here it goes. And we got last game, Monday night game, Tampa Bay at KC. I really wanted to pick Tampa Bay for it. I just think that they need another couple of weeks with these receivers. If we had a healthy Godwin, healthy Evans, I would have picked Tampa Bay for sure.
Yeah.
But given the case, it's not. So I'm going KC.
Yeah. I'm going again.
There's nothing more to it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I'm
pretty
gonna pick them
straightforward.
until they lose, I guess.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's probably the smart thing. I'm right there with you.
All right. Well, we lock those in. So this is the part where we pray for the best, and we'll see who starts pulling ahead tonight.
I'm down one game. I'm trying to get down to this. You got me like right here.
I just barely got the pinky tip in. It's gonna poop me out.
Well, I guess this is where we kind of recap real quick on thanking for one Amanda and of Venom Collectibles being on the podcast, right? And
Yeah, thank you guys so
absolutely.
much for having me. This was so fun.
Yeah, this is great. It's just cool to talk about sports with people who care about it. And, really appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everything you do. But yeah, I think, I think when we talk about, what breaks are, can you explain to people who might not understand just kind of what it is and how you got into it?
Yeah, so a break is a more affordable way to get memorabilia. So you purchase, it's broken up into divisions. So for football, obviously there's 8 divisions. You purchase a division, and once all of the divisions are full, we open a mystery box. So if the break is a helmet, we open a mystery helmet. If it's a jersey, we do a jersey. And if the team on the jersey is a team in your division, then you get the jersey. If it's not, we always send football cards in the mail, but instead of paying, $160 to $250 outright for a jersey, you jump into a break for $20 and hope you hit. So it's kind of a more fun way to get involved, and get a lot of memorabilia. Which is ironically how I got started doing this. Is I started jumping into breaks on my own and getting my own collection, and it just started to overrun my basement. So I thought instead of, continuing to go down that road, I might as well jump in on the other side of it. So I started selling a lot of the stuff I had doing breaks, and it went well, and so we've just kind of kept up and starting to grow my community. I enjoy getting on every night, talking to the same people, and we've kind of got a little bit of a, like I said, a community going. So it's really nice and fun, and it's good to talk sports with people and people that are passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a great time in there. Again, obviously, it's a bunch of people who love NFL, so it's if you like this content, go hop on TikTok, go on to the lives. We talk a bunch of shit, and we get some cool stuff. And even if we don't, I got a stack of football cards a mile high because of how many times I lose. But at least you walk away with something other than nothing. So, Josh, I know you had a question, about their QB situation.
Yeah, may as well hit on this too. I mean, obviously you're a Vikings fan, as we've been touching base on all this whole episode. But yeah, you guys have obviously drafted J.J. McCarthy coming into this season, and I bet that's some exciting stuff. But now that you guys have found so much success with Sam Darnold, I guess the basic question is, like, who do you want to be as your quarterback one next year?
Who do I want to be and who do I think will be are probably two different questions. I would like to see Sam Darnold continue. I think he's been strong for us. He's kind of inconsistent, but if he finishes out the year strong like he started, I would like to see him come back, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that what they're going to do is get rid of Sam next year and let JJ have his time to shine. So I like JJ. I think he has the potential. I just haven't seen enough of him to really have a lot of faith in him yet. But I mean, no matter what, if they go with Sam, if they go with JJ, I'm good either way on either one of those.
Yeah, I think with the good coach that you guys have in was McConnell or O'Donnell, I forget how to say his name. But,
Kevin O'Connell, yeah.
O'Connell, yeah. He's a great coach, man. And I mean, Sam Darnold has honestly special arm strength that something like J.J. McCarthy I don't think really has, and not many quarterbacks do. But yeah, it'll be exciting to see, but best of luck to the Vikings this year, man. Skol. It's always fun to root for an
Skol
NFC
Nation.
team that's surprising people, so shout out the Vikings.
Yeah,
it's a ton of fun. Big on the Vikings this year. They're a hard team to dislike, right? I mean, it's just
absolutely.
Midwest, up north, they're friendly fucking people up there. You have documentaries on Kirk O'Chains where it's just some big ass goofball living the suburban white dad life and just crushing it. So gotta love it. I'm sure you guys miss them, but y'all are having an awesome season. But I think just to kind of wrap it up here, again, thank you so much for hopping on. Our first honorary guest on Pound the Walk.
Heck
Let's
yeah.
go.
Heck yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me again. I really appreciate it. And anytime you want my opinion, I'm always here for you. So.
Oh, look, maybe once we get closer in the playoffs and the Vikings are looking good, we'll have you back on. Just kind of keep up with it.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. Sounds like we're about to end the segment here. She's on mute, so we're going to say Tuna-wa!
Tuna-wa, episode 9. Thank you.
Bye.
Episode 9 of Pound the Walk podcast, baby.